This week we're going to start really the next phase of the course, which will be to study the Constitution and the basic structure of our government that it provides. And I'd say that this is a very critical week of the course, the material in this week's lecture. So it's really important that you master it, or you might end up being a little bit lost as we move on to study the various branches of our government. So make sure you're familiar with the concepts in this week's lecture, ranging from federalism, separation of powers, checks and balances, implied powers, limited government, and so forth. These are all fairly technical terms that you should be familiar with. If they don't seem real clear from the lecture, it might be an especially good week where you review the supplemental reading by Wasserman. Of special note this week is the last portion of the lecture, which is about what we call implied powers. And these are powers of Congress that aren't directly outlined in the Constitution, but as the term suggests, implied. But whether these powers are really meant to be has been a matter of historical and ongoing debate, really. And so the lecture looks at how two of our founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton of recent musical fame, really got into very deep and profound debate over the extent of the powers of the federal government through Congress. And this is a debate that continues on today and still divides our two parties, the Republicans and Democrats, so it's worth noting. Uh, the debate over the wording of the Constitution in regards to implied powers ends up in the Supreme Court. So it's really also, we'll get a glimpse of how the Supreme Court steps in and can affect our functioning of government, and as well as sort of the political role that the court can take. So study well, enjoy it, and have a good week.